nation since I was elected to be your president on November 11th, okay? Now, I know how eagerly you want to see me on your TV screens. How? Because of the millions and millions of screaming people that watched my limousine ride down Pennsylvania Avenue to the White House. Now, I know the fake news is saying there was a much smaller crowd than I saw, but I believe my own eyes a lot more than those of the lying press. To all of you who voted for me, in the greatest election in the history of America, and perhaps the history of the world, I say you did absolutely right. You can be sure I'll be the best president ever since presidents were invented, and none of those foreigners are ever going to take away your jobs again.
Trump fired up. Another Trump dump. He fired Comey.
Says for homing on Hillary. Now isn't that Sillery?
When Donald himself had ordered her tossed.
And Comey instead went after his boss.
Turning his gaze on the nation's commander.
Refusing his praise or demands to disband her.
Drawing a bead on the leader who canned her.
Inspiring such ire
that him, Trump, then fired.
I'm keeping all immigrants out of the country that want to come here and blow us all up. It ain't gonna happen, okay? Not on my watch. Some of my enemies in Congress are saying that this is contrary to one or other of the amendments to the Constitution. Who knows to which? But you all know that they're wrong. The least I can do is put up my wall to keep out those Latino terrorists. And you can bet they won't be able to climb over it, not with my 200% increase in the size of our border patrol.
Yeah!
The liberal Marxist elite always likes to criticize.
Boo!
But you are looking at a man who knows what he's doing.
Yay!
You can bet that the radical rags like the failing New York Times,
Boo.
not to mention fake press like CNN,
Boo!
will never again be allowed in my press room, which I am moving anyway to smaller headquarters.
Yay!
I am a great proponent of democracy. It's just that I don't believe the press has a right to criticize the chief executive.
Boo!
When all he is trying to do is protect his citizens. Right?
Right!
Good evening, Kelly. Welcome back to Broken News.
Glad to be here.
Once you were the chief spokesperson for President Trump, now we hear that you have become his chief strategist.
That's an alternative fact.
All right, what's the real fact?
I'm his chief philatelist.
Does that mean you collect all of his stamps? Which ones?
You know, pictures of important presidents, Lincoln, Roosevelt himself, okay?
You are claiming that he expects to see his own picture on a stamp soon.
Another alternative fact from the lying press.
No, he's a president too. The only thing is he'd have to lose some weight. You can't fit 300 pounds and all that hair on a single small piece of paper.
Maybe just his hands. They're the right size.
Right, in that famous pose of his, where he puts his thumb against his forefinger.
Sure, that should be a stamp.
He has claimed he's measuring something else with that famous gesture.
Another whopper from the fake press.
All right, I'll make a deal with you. I promise I won't mention stamps anymore if you don't mention philately.
You're on. What should we talk about?
Well, you won't mention philatelists, and I won't mention strategists. What about pugilists or bigamists?
Or rather, why don't we get pissed? We won't be missed.
If you insist.
Sounds like a tryst.
You get the gist.
Now, let's look at this business of Russia. It's time we stopped treating them as the enemy and started hugging them as the ally they want to be. I've had a lot of conversations with President Putin. No, wait. I'm talking about invaluable diplomatic exchanges between me and Vladimir, not those ridiculous charges regarding my election and the emails of crooked Hillary. What? No, don't give me any of that shit about the Ukraine and the KGB. He's the man who restored the kind of friendship we had during World War II. And don't give me any of that sex stuff. Having a prostitute piss on Obama's bed is one thing. We all want to do that. Ew. Hardly the same as sleeping with her.
You Trumpists
And trumpets
may
be feeling regrets on detecting defects in our president erect.
Has Putin changed your mind?
About the bent of mankind.
To remain wholly blind.
towards the dent of Trump kind.
How our dope group in chief
And his red counterfeit
are heeding those beefs.
about rich tax relief.
This all may be brief and hit rocky reefs when you, Vladimir's old face becomes clear.
That this cool SOB
Is still KGB. Trump pays whores to piss on floors.
and on the tread of Obama's bedstead when visiting Putin.
And putting his foot in. This perpetual disser and dedicate pisser.
Will use urination to heighten his station.
An ancient campaign pledge, the one he won't hedge.
He's yes, free to pee.
But please not on me!
And if you're still stupidly asking about my finances, let me assure you that I no longer have anything to do with that kind of stuff. They are being managed independently by my two sons, who I can assure you are totally reliable. And I don't want to hear any more about my tax returns. I have full faith in the Internal Revenue Service to deal with those, especially since the IRS is now under my strict supervision. And I fired every attorney general that might investigate.
My next guest is Steve Bannon, chief strategist in President Trump's White House. Welcome, Mr. Bannon.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to sweet talk me. I'm here to represent the president who won't appear on CNN because it's fake news, but I'll do the interview.
Well, Mr. Bannon, my first question
I'll provide the questions, okay?
in which of your capacities?
As spokesman for the White House. First, what makes Donald Trump such a great president? I'll answer that because he was elected by the biggest plurality in history.
I thought he lost the popular vote.
Only if you count the 5 million illegals who voted for Hillary. Second, why is his immigration policy so perfect for this country? I'll answer that too, because it'll keep the greatest country God ever created safe from terrorists and unbelievers. Third, why does the president's lack of government experience make him wiser than all the other politicians? Because He won't make their mistakes. Fourth, why won't he release his tax returns? Because the accountants can't keep up with his tremendous flow of income. Finally, why should foreign leaders use Trump hotels and golf courses? Because he can offer them a reduced rate when they register at his facilities. And he pulls hard on all of his private members. No, strike that. He pulls hard for all of his private members. Yeah, and that's...
Thank you, Mr. Bannon.
Yeah, no problem. If you want to ask me any more questions, just give me a call and I'll provide them for you.
That completes this night broadcast of President News. Once again tomorrow, we'll be discussing how President Trump has called former President Obama a bad or sick guy for wiretapping his phone.
Really? Really? One more thing. I need you all to write letters to Obama telling him to stop wiretapping my phone, because the more he does that, the harder it is for me to prove it. That's why I have called for a congressional committee to endorse my charge that Obama's CIA and FBI were pushing into my private affairs. Strike that! I don't have affairs. I mean my private life. Remember, I have a hardened member. Strike that! I mean I am a hardened member of the greatest nation in the history of nations.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Spicer.
The president can't be here for obvious reasons. Too busy closing borders. So you can interview me.
Well, my first question
I will provide the questions, okay?
in which of your capacities?
As chief spokesman for the White House. First was speech, Donald Trump such a great president. Oh, so now because you're elected by the greatest party in history. If you want to use this, the final legal voter for Hillary. Second, why is the great policy over the country now? So that's true. Because the greatest country got greatest state safe from terrorists and non-believers. Third, why is president flag my government experience being right than all the other politicians? Because he won't make a mistake. Fourth, why can't he release his tax return? Because the accountants can this tremendous income threat. Why should foreign leaders use Trump hotels and golf courses? Because he can offer them a good deal. They're rated by Mar-a-Lago. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Spicer. One thing, though, you were wrong to say that Assad was the first to use chemicals on civilians.
I don't count Hitler. He didn't run Syria. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'll provide them.
Just don't forget, it's a free country. And you're all absolutely free to clap your hands for me. Okay? Oh, you're wondering why I only clap with one hand. That's because I'm trying to lengthen the other. All right. Clap now. I'm already the best president you've ever had.